Welcome back, Scott Brown, Rider 1051, riding in the 2024 Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge. Well, the big day has finally come. Fred Bigland and I got up around 3:30 a.m. to get down to the starting area to line up. You're probably asking why so early. Well, you can't sleep the night before the big day, at least I couldn't. So we headed off back over to destination Daytona, thinking we would be close to the front of the line. Well, we were wrong. We were almost at the very back, which wasn't that bad of a place to be. I started walking around to check out some of the other riders and give out a few stickers. If you haven't figured out the sticker thing, you will. I use it to get the word out about who I'm riding for, and to make it easier for anyone who wants to donate to get to my donation site. While I was out there wandering around, I ran into another buddy, Jay Gleason, rider 944. Before long, it was time for the bike blessing and smudging of the riders to start. This was done by one of the Lakota riders in their native language. Now, I tried to get what he was saying translated, and ChatGPT said it translated his blessing, and this is what was given back to me. Many people ask me what Hoka Hey means. It's a Lakota phrase. Some say it means it's a good day to die. But it's more than that. It's about living every day like it's your last, giving your all, no regrets. Ride with purpose, live with honor, and stand for something bigger than yourself. Hoka Hey is not just a saying, it's a mindset. When the road gets rough, when the odds are stacked against you, that's when you dig deep. That's when you show the world what you're made of. Not with words, with action. Real strength comes from struggle, not comfort. Every mile, every hardship, every moment of doubt. That's where the spirit of Hoka Hey is forged. It's not about being fearless, it's about riding through the fear. You ride for those who can. You ride for a cause. You ride for your soul. You don't quit when you're tired. You quit when you're done. That's the code. And when you ride with that fire, when your heart's in the right place, you become unstoppable. That's what Hoka Hey means. It's not just a ride, it's a way of life. So, when you hear Hoka Hey, don't just think of the words, feel the meaning. Let it push you further, drive you harder, and remind you why you started. Life's not promised, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So ride like it matters. Live like it matters. Hoka Hey. Well, we were off. The start of the 2024 Hoka Hey Motorcycle Challenge from Daytona, Florida to Homer, Alaska has started. It's a little bit tamer than in 2022, but you know, the hurricane hadn't hit us yet. It's coming. Fred and I got out of the parking lot and onto the main road, and we stayed together for a little while. Probably for about an hour or so, and then I made a wrong turn. Fred didn't. We got separated. I never saw Fred again. the entire 2 weeks I was out on the road. But that's okay. That's how the Hoka Hey is. I mean, sometimes you're able to stay with who you're riding with, and then sometimes you're not. So it just depends. But hope you're enjoying watching this. I certainly enjoyed riding it, and I'll just let you watch for a little while.
just call her again. She went mad, he went mad, they went mad. She was waiting there in a rocking chair, no tears left, just a blank, blank stare. And she went mad, he went mad, they went mad. And this life gets so long and I felt so alone. Me, you working man, you your mother on the phone. And I felt like giving up each and every day. Instead I found a way to throw it all away. And he went mad.
Yeah, it was right here is where we got separated. Fred turned around right there. I'm going forward because I'm thinking that right up here about a mile there's a turn, because the way I'm reading the directions, that's the way it looked like we should be going. Fred read the directions correctly. So I go up here and make a turn, and then I realize, oh great, I made a mistake. I got to go back. So I had to go all the way back to that intersection where Fred made that U-turn and pick that little section back up. But a lot of other people did this exact same thing. You see all those little red lights up there ahead of me. Those are other bike riders doing exactly the same thing I did. Now, whether they all turned around and went back and caught that little section, I don't know. I was just doing what I needed to do to make sure I qualified. But that's where me and Fred got separated, and never saw Fred again until we actually the last time I saw him was at the Taco Run in Oklahoma just a few months ago. But yeah, that's what happens. You get separated, and if you're planning on riding with somebody, you better have a plan and stay with that person. Otherwise, you're going to get separated and never see each other again. Because this road comes up to another intersection with the road that Fred turned on comes into. So I don't know. I went up there, turned around, and went back and called it. Anyway, that's that. So yeah, about this time I made a phone call to Fred, got him on the phone, and yeah, he told me I turned at the wrong place. So right there is, I don't know if Fred's in that group of people right there, but he may have been. So I realized then, I was like, okay, I gotta make a U-turn up here. I'm talking to him on the phone, and he's telling me, yeah, you missed the turn. So I'm gonna make me a U-turn here. If you noticed all them people in front of me, I don't know if they ever turned around and went back and caught that little section or not. I don't know if it'd make a big deal or not, but I wasn't going to take any chances. And, I wanted to finish this thing since I didn't in 2022. Anyway, so I'll make my U-turn here, go back, catch that little section, and then get back on track. But, that's what you got to do if you miss a turn.
Somebody call the dogs who walk. Somebody call the dogs who walk. I don't wanna die no more. What the hell are we fighting for? Mama said please don't go. Mama said please don't go. She said son, you're gonna die for sure if you fight the devil's war. Somebody call the dogs who walk. Somebody call the dogs who walk. Fight the devil's war. I'll be back when we do the deal. Worry not, try not to feel. Old men talking, young men die. Young men fight and don't know why. Sons are lost on both sides. Mama sit at home and cry. Somebody call the dogs who walk. Somebody call the dogs who walk.
So, as you can see, the weather's coming in. We were headed south and west in Florida, and the hurricane's headed north and east. And at some point, it comes up on land up near the northern side of the the western side of Florida, on the Gulf side, is where it hit. And most of it came in there, but there was a lot of it still offshore. And the further south we went, the worse the weather got. And at some points it got pretty bad, to the point where it was extremely hard to see. And once I get down to the Keys, I think I've got some footage of that down there. It's pretty bad. But anyway, it's the weather's starting to get a little dicey along in here. And it was somewhere right in here, I got a warning on my phone that there was a tornado in my area. to seek shelter immediately. And as you can see, there's power lines all around me. And there is nowhere to get shelter. I couldn't see the tornado. I don't know where it was. I had my, if you see that screen down there, I had my weather app on my bike just to kind of track where all the really severe weather was, so I wouldn't run into something that was crazy. And but anyway, it it's just started raining a little harder going forward. But I did get a warning up here, right somewhere in this area, and all these power lines kind of made me a little nervous, especially with a tornado in the area. But anyway, made it through, no problem. Well, I pulled into this gas station where there was a few other riders, and had a little quick conversation with them, asked them if they'd seen the tornado, and they hadn't. And then I decided to just keep on going because it finally stopped raining a little bit. But it rained off and on this whole day. As you can see, it's kind of stopped right now. But it'll pick back up here in a little bit.
This life gets so long and I felt so
Well, I finally made it down to the Keys, and the weather's about to hit. It's going to get a little dicey here in a minute, but you'll see. Yeah, you can see it's starting to rain pretty good right through here. As we get a little bit further down on the Keys, right along in here, things get really, really hard to see. I eventually have to pull off the road. Yeah, you see that bike behind me? That's Jeff Mallory. And I didn't know it was Jeff at the time, but we managed to pull off at the same gas station down here in the Keys, and we actually rode the entire Hoka Hey from down here in the Keys all the way to Homer, Alaska, and managed to stay together. Never know what's going to happen, but you know, make some lifelong friends doing this thing. As you can see, the weather's getting kind of rough down here. You can see the wind's blowing pretty good, and beyond those trees on both sides of the road is the ocean. There is nothing blocking the wind, and I have to pull off right about along in here somewhere. But I want you to notice something. You see my little directions holder there? That thing got blown down in my lap, so I had to pull off and fix that, get it kind of positioned where it's not so loose, and also clean off the inside of my visor on my helmet so I could actually see again. So I did that, got going again, and it didn't last very long because the wind was blowing the rain sideways, so it was coming up under my visor, and I couldn't keep my visor shut because it would fog up on me and I couldn't see it all. But in just a second, I found a place to pull off, and just so happens Jeff and a few other guys are hanging out there at the gas station doing the same thing I'm doing. The guy with the big beard there in the back, he lost his visor off his helmet completely. And we keep going, and we eventually make it down to Key West and to our to basically the southernmost point in the U.S. I don't have pictures of that. I'm not real sure why. I don't know if my camera got turned off, but we got turned around down there and made loop-de-loops around Key West for a while. It probably took us 45 minutes to figure out the route we had to take down there because we went the wrong way the first time. And then they started closing off roads down there. So we had barricades in the road. We were trying to get through those and get around those. There was water up to my floorboards all over the roads down there. It was quite the experience. But we finally made it out of Key West and started heading back north as well. And just in a second, you're going to see a bunch of riders that we're meeting. They're coming out of Key West, headed north already. We didn't make it too far that evening. I'll have to look up the mileage, but anyway. Yeah, here's some of those riders I was talking about that we're meeting coming back. And actually, I do remember now, I did see Fred one more time. We passed each other on my way down to the Keys, and he was coming out of the Keys before it got dark. But it's getting fairly late in the evening here. I'm not sure exactly what time this is, somewhere around 7 o'clock, I would think. One thing about the Keys down there, you got to drive really slow. Speed limit's like 45 miles an hour, and they are serious about it. Saw lots of people pulled over. Now I will say this, if you're going to do the Hoka Hey, I would recommend that you get a good set of riding gear. I like Climb, that's just my personal choice. I had no problems during the entire Hoka Hey with getting wet. I did talk to a lot of people that had problems with their climb gear. I'm not sure if they just had some kind of cloth or something stuck down in there, because I've had that happen one time where I got wet on the inside of my climb gear. The reason I did is I had a balaclava on over my head and it tucked down into my jacket, and it acted like a wick to suck the water down into the inside of my jacket, and I got soaked. But on the Hoka Hey, I didn't have that problem. I've learned not to do that. If you don't want to have anything going down on the inside of your jacket, because that'll just soak water right in there. But during the whole trip, never had a problem with getting wet. My climb gear kept me dry, and it kept me cooler on the whole route. So can't say nothing negative about my climb gear. I love it. I'm glad I spent the money on it. And there's all kinds of gear out there, so get something, try it out. You know, trial and error is the best thing you can do. Experiment, see what's going to work for you. But in the 2022 Hoka Hey, I did not have climb gear, and I regretted it, because I think one day I had to change clothes like 6 times. That's how odd that, I mean, the weather changes so drastically in some places in the country. Anyway, we keep going. We make it down to Key West, like I said, and we turned around and started heading back north, and we made it to Marathon, Florida. So our total mileage for day one was not great. We had a total miles of 649 miles. So we stopped at a gas station, which I did say I wasn't going to stay at any gas stations, but this first night, that was really the only place we could find to pull off this highway. As you can see, there's not very many shoulders, and not very many pull-offs either. It had stopped raining, so we decided that we would just stay at this little gas station, which is kind of out of the way. There was a couple of Connex little containers, shipping containers that were there, and we got in between those and out of the way so we didn't get run over, and tried to get a little sleep. About 3:30 in the morning, we had an experience, and I'll talk about that in the next video, but it was interesting, to say the least. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this video, and hope you like it, and if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Also, if you haven't donated to my charity, please do so. I'll put the QR code up in the corner there that you can just scan with your phone, but it's a donation to the Alzheimer's Association, and appreciate all the donations everybody's given in the past, and hopefully in the upcoming 2026 Hoka Hey, I can do even better than I did in 2024. Anyway, hope you guys are having a great day, and Hoka Hey.